All right, this is what is it? September 22nd, 2025, Library Board of Trustees Personnel Committee meeting. And so far, myself, Maria Imp, and Lauren Rosso are present. Because neither Lauren or Chris were on the committee last year, we do have minutes, but it doesn't make any sense to, approve them so I guess I can just approve them because I don't know how that works. So we'll just table the approval of the November 21st, 2024 Personnel Committee meeting minutes. So just a quick background. I mean, you've done evaluations before, you've looked at the forms, it's gone through many iterations over the years, starting with, handwritten, like paper forms that we would fill out. Sorry. It was 5:32 and I didn't want to get in trouble. So
with Ryan Road being under construction, it took so long to get here. I left at 5 and it still took 30 minutes to get here.
Yes, sorry about that. So we were just going through the agenda because you weren't on the committee last year. Mm-hmm. You can't really approve the minutes, so we tabled that for now.
Okay.
So I was just giving a quick background of, we've all done evaluation processes before. So we've gone, on my time on the board, we've been handed paper forms to do evaluations, and then we had an instructor, I think she taught at Concordia, and she converted it to this Google process, which is nice because it compiles it and puts everything together. So whether or not everybody's familiar with it, it does seem to work well. So if you guys have or can, what we'll do is just take a quick peek at each of the evaluation forms. We send separate ones to the board and to the staff. So let's just look at the board one first, if you have that available. Did you guys read it, or did you want to read it kind of out? Okay. So basically what we do is, because we've moved since we've been doing strategic plans, Jennifer's goals are built into those action plans every year. So she doesn't have a separate set of goals or that kind of thing. Her goals are embedded in the action plan. And as those things are completed, that's kind of her checking off her goals for the year. So the best we can do is the Q3 action plan by the time this evaluation takes place. And then she does, I think she emailed us the job description. So if the whole board can look at that. That line about submitting the evaluation is something we'll have to look at the timeline for tonight. And then the guidelines are listed there, the ratings. That last underlined statement was something we added last year because we were getting, not so much from the board, but from the staff, people rating her fair or poor, no comment. And that's just not helpful. Mm-hmm. So that was something we added last year. Do you guys have any questions or feedback just on that introductory page there? No. Okay. Then the next, I didn't realize this. I think these categories went along with the strategic plan. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, we can think about that. Just overall, what did you think about the categories? It was budget. Let's see. I have to go back to the other form of the form.
Budget. Policy implementation.
Yeah, okay, yeah, interaction with the board. Yeah, no, these are not the categories of the strategic plan. Okay, I was wrong. Good. Okay. We've also gone between super long questions and really short questions. And honestly, personally, I think many questions and few questions. I mean, we've done it all. So do you have any opinions on what those those statements are, how they're stated?
I think they're pretty clear and a good balance between long and short.
Yeah.
So, no, didn't have.
We tried to kind of get at what we really wanted feedback on, and without being. I mean, we want people to fill it out mainly. And honestly, the comments are what the statements kind of trigger things, right?
Are people required to fill them out?
We almost, I don't know, I wouldn't say we require the board to do it, but we kind of, I mean, that's part of being on the board.
Yeah.
Our job is to evaluate Jennifer. So we absolutely should be doing this. So we have never had a year when all of us have not done it. We've had a few times where we've had to say, someone didn't fill it out, and then someone says, I never got it. Just technology issues is mainly the thing. Staff is a whole separate thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
We never get all the staff to do it. So,
Gotcha.
Okay, so budget. And maybe it'll take this first year when we do it, and by next year, you guys will have opinions about how the process goes, which would be great.
Yeah.
So just maybe going through it 1 year. Okay, then policy implementation and recommendation. And maybe after we go through it this year, we can have a discussion on these categories, and if we feel like they're appropriate, or if we think we need to redo that kind of thing too. But that would be like a whole separate personnel committee meeting, and with you especially, Lauren, just coming on to try to fit something like that in didn't make sense, because we're at evaluation time now. So, all right.
Yeah, I feel like it would be helpful to actually see some of the staff evals too.
Right. You mean the
if there are
responses?
Questions they kind of skip over. Yeah.
Right. Well, you should have had access to the staff one too.
No, but
right.
Sorry,
the responses.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and it is interesting because we definitely use their feedback. I wouldn't say more than the boards, but there's a lot of feedback from the staff that we just aren't aware of, and so we definitely use their feedback, especially if we get repeat comments on along the same lines, pros or cons, and so we use that, because what we do is we go through this whole process, and then we compile it all, and then usually either I or either of you or whoever wants to sits down with Jennifer and just does a meeting with her and kind of gives her a high level summary of these.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
So yeah, and then that helps her. Then she'll make goals in the action plan next year that reflect these things. So our feedback. Okay.
Very good.
And then we have the interaction with the Board of Trustees. Questions, comments? Oops, I always forget in mine. The next one is kind of capital stuff, the physical building, which is always, it's a big part of her job, Whoops. Professional development, and this is her professional development, not if she provides it to the staff. So,
Okay.
Community development. Just jump in at any time. And again, these usually are built out of some of the stuff in the strategic plan, personal goals. We're trying to get at looking at the strategic plan stuff and personal stuff. And then programming, like last year or the year before, just decided on having the one question, the one statement, really kind of.
I like it.
So, again, if it's too long, people don't like doing it.
Yeah.
You know. And then the last one is for planning. You know, since we are, driven by those strategic plans now and the annual goals. So, and then any other comments.
Yeah.
So it gives you a sense of the process. And like I said, after doing it this year, if anything major needs to be done next year, after you guys see how this all comes back, then we can absolutely discuss that. So, anything, Chris, you have feedback on?
Well, it looks like these questions are very vetted. It's been a lot of time. So,
yeah.
And it seems like it's working, so no need to reinvent the wheel.
Well, that's kind of the thing, too. Not that, but Judy Williams is on the person, obviously. She was a big part of developing these. She was our previous lawyer on the board, so she really, really worked with, the wording.
She's an employment and labor attorney too, so
Oh,
very fitting.
yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to think. So she was really good. Okay, then the staff, it's kind of a different process, because we decided to evaluate the entire staff, because even though they're like the shelvers, they don't really have they're not direct reports to Jennifer, so we've gone back and forth. So that's something you guys can think about through this year's process, if you think it's valuable to have the entire staff. I mean, she is the director of the library, so ultimately, even though they don't report directly to her, she oversees the operations of the library. So that was kind of why we would have everybody do an evaluation. But then we do ask the librarians and the circulation supervisor, come on in, to do section 2, and everybody else who wants to, if they have relevant input, and we'll see how that section 2 looks. So as you can see, there's that extra page that says everybody should be filling out this first section that has to do with the physical building and the upkeep of it. And then utilization and development of staff. So even though she doesn't necessarily oversee them all, she does obviously interact with all of them and that kind of thing. So there's safety and training questions or statements in that one. Okay. Then section 2 can be for anybody that wants to fill it out, but we really do ask those librarians to do it. And generally, we know how many librarians there are, and generally we get at least that many responses, so we're pretty certain that they're responsible in filling it out. It's obviously a anonymous process. We don't see who filled them out. We just can see how many filled it out. Okay, so the librarians, since they are responsible for collection development, comment on, that. And then community development, that the staff has, we have the community outreach person on staff and stuff like that. So they have direct connection to that. And then we ask the programming question, because they are the ones, it's not the circulation staff that develops programs, it's the librarians. So we answer that, or we ask them that. I think I just submitted all my responses. I'll clear it. Okay. And Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can clear this. Okay, so the process, of course, is that we pick a date to send it out like in November, because the calendar year now raises are given in January. They used to be given like in June or something, so there wasn't like that crunch time around the holidays. It's always but we do need to complete this process, so at least we can submit to the city, the results of it, or what our recommendation is. So did you here? I'm sorry, Chris. It's kind of the process. It's not exactly up to date, but basically we pick a 2-week time slot in November and I email out the forms. I send them to like Jennifer and Maureen so they can email them to the staff that they need to, or forward them to the staff. Anything longer than 2 weeks, we just don't see responses. There's too much procrastination.
Yep.
So we, even 2 weeks, we send them out like on a Monday. The next Monday I'm sending reminders because people aren't doing it. They either do it right away or need that reminder. So anyways, looking at the calendar. Okay, so, and then once we get those back, we sit down as a committee and look at the responses. And then usually I then form a summary and we present it to the board. So the board meeting in December is December, is it December 22nd this year? It would be hard to have it the 15th.
Are we always just counting for the fourth
Yes,
week?
but sometimes, see, I thought I asked Jennifer to send you. It's the
I
fourth
did not
of-
have this one on my calendar. I thought meeting invitations were sent or something.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I will
It's always
do
the
that
4th.
manually. Okay.
Sometimes like Memorial Day upsets it, or
Okay.
Christmas upsets it, and I don't have the meeting schedule list here, but
So it would be October 27th, and
Yep.
then 1, 2, 3, November 24th,
Mhm.
and then
It says December
December
22nd.
22nd,
That's
yeah.
that's the one. So okay, let's assume we're meeting December 22nd. That it really only takes one meeting with the board for them to give the, what the board actually decides. We bring our recommendation to the board and we have a little bit of a discussion and they say yay or nay. Kind of like when the finance committee brings something to the board. I feel like we've developed a pretty good system where our committees do the work and bring the recommendations. We do not have to we do not discuss the whole evaluation question by question as an entire board. We
Okay.
do that as a committee, bring our recommendation, and then the board votes on our recommendation. And the 22nd gives me plenty of time to contact, the HR person at the city hall and let them know what the board decided. So if that is the case, that means we would have to meet like the week before, sometime in the week or two before that meeting. Now, if we feel like we can meet sometime in the week of the 15th, we actually could send out the evaluations the first couple of weeks in December instead of in November, if we want to do that. Or we can do it the last 2 weeks in November, and then, just give us a little bit of a cushion.
is there any harm in just having them sent out in November and then waiting.
Right, no.
scheduling a meeting when we're all
No.
free?
No,
Okay.
there's no, yeah, okay. So we could do like, I can't remember what we did last year, but it doesn't matter. oh, it's on this form still.
Oh, dang.
They were due the 20th of November. So, yeah, I was going to say like the 10th to the 21st. Should we do it in November? Okay.
Yeah, before Thanksgiving.
Right. Okay. So November 10th to 21st. They're due Friday the 21st. I'll make these changes in here. I'll edit
Okay.
these forms. And then, do you want to pick a meeting day now, or do we want to wait till November, till we know? I don't know if you guys have things that may pop up in December with work and stuff like that. If we can definitely hold off scheduling our meeting until, November, or we can try it now and.
I don't have kids, so I'm always free.
Okay.
But not December 15th, because that's my wife's birthday. But
Oh
but
yeah,
again,
for sure not.
so-
And not or like work, I don't know, holiday thing.
Parties-
I don't
Mondays
know.
are generally good for me. I
Mondays
would say I
are?
don't think I have work events or anything
Okay.
Mondays.
If we meet the
So
15th.
not the
Not, oh wait, no, not the, sorry. What
Any
about
day but the
the
15th.
What about the 8th?
I think that's
Sure.
good.
Okay, why don't we meet December 8th and then, and we don't have to meet at 5:30. We can do it a little bit later because we don't have a board meeting. So should we say 6 o'clock, or would you rather do 5:30?
5:30 is good.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, well then let's say 5:30. And then that gives then us, 2 weeks to get stuff ready for the board meeting.
All right.
How
Very
does
good.
that sound?
It's on the calendar.
Okay. So back to the agenda because we're supposed to be following that. We discussed the forms. I will make the changes to just the dates, really, is all we did this time, and the dates at the top of the forms. And we created a timeline. It'll be November 10th to 21st. The forms will be sent out the 10th, due the 21st. And then our future meeting date is December 8th at 5:30.
Very good.
Okay. So I move that the meeting be adjourned at 5:55.
A second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Make this